Morning guys, it's March 25th, 5:30 in the morning, and on today's episode I'm going to walk you through what my life is like right now, kind of a day in a lifestyle, and also talk about what it's like being a travel photographer in 2021 because, spoiler, it's kind of weird. So let's start our day by going out and taking some pictures.
Before we start, today's video is sponsored by SquareSpace.com. SquareSpace is an awesome place for photographers, or anyone really, to build a professional looking website really quickly. There are a lot of community-driven aspects that go beyond building the website as well. For example, you can make a gated community area to both earn revenue and connect with your audience. And if you're looking to streamline your photography business, there are loads of options to integrate third-party e-commerce programs, which allow you to take payments, manage inventory, promote products, and even streamline your bookkeeping and accounting. Of course, all of this is a bonus beyond the beautiful and easy-to-use Squarespace website templates they're known for. So, head to squarespace.com/BrendanVanson for a 10% discount on your first purchase. The biggest misconception of travel photography is the word travel. A travel photo isn't a photo that you had to travel to make, it's a photo that makes people want to travel to where the photo was taken. Your backyard is a travel destination for someone, so don't think you need to travel around the world to be a travel photographer. But I think one thing this pandemic has done is made us realize that we don't need to travel 1,000 miles for a photo. We have some beautiful places right here in our own backyards, wherever they may be.
Okay, my location this morning is Praia Dona Ana. It's probably the most popular beach in Lagos, maybe the busiest. It's also basically right in town. And it's kind of funny because I've never been here. Live in town, have never been here. And it's not like I'm blaming the pandemic or anything like that. I've just never ever thought to come here, and I don't know why. It's a really, really cool spot. And yeah, I guess I'm just an idiot. I've never been here. My original plan was to just come and maybe set up top here and take an overview photo. But I'm already seeing that it's not gonna look great. There's a boardwalk here that kind of leads away from the beach. I think I'm gonna go down onto the beach and maybe work out something more minimal. The seas are also crazy calm this morning, and there's no clouds. Basically, I think we're done seeing clouds for the year here in Lagos.
There might not be clouds, but when locations are as beautiful as these beaches, there's always a photo. Sometimes to find that photo though, you actually need to ignore the obvious elements of your landscape.
I was immediately drawn to this phallic-shaped rock, which reminds me a lot of my early coffee art, because it is really impressive. It's a very impressive phallic-shaped rock, but there's just no foreground to it. There's potentially like some sort of simple composition this way, but the seas are so calm right now, it's almost gonna make everything look flat. So I don't know what I'm doing. There's actually quite a few really cool views here. Yeah, a really nice beach actually. This is probably where I should be hanging out when I get into my Speedo and get that sun on me. From a photography standpoint, as beautiful as the views are, they kind of feel a little bit empty. When that happens, I tend to start foreground hunting. There are like some really cool rocks right on the water. So I spotted this one from a distance. Yeah, it's a rock. It's a rock in the water, and I think the tides are actually coming up. It's just been low tide. So I think I'm gonna try to set up a shot like this, with this rock as the foreground, the cliffs of Ponta de Piedad as the background, and then hopefully get some color in the sky as well. So I think this is probably gonna be my photo.
Can I go back to talking about how nice it is to be outside with my camera again? Is there anything more peaceful than a calm beach at sunrise? I feel so blessed that this is my backyard. I think I've been pretty good at not taking it for granted yet either. I just hope that I always have the same sentiment about living here in this insanely beautiful place.
I just shot a landscape orientation photo and it just felt too boring, a little bit plain, and most of all, it just felt like it was lacking any sort of depth. And I find personally, when I go vertical, when I shoot portrait orientation, I feel like I can get more on top of my subject and I can get a little bit more depth. So I've got this little tiny rock as my foreground element, and then this bigger rock is kind of the midground element, and then of course the backdrop in the sky. And I feel like this is working a lot better.
You'll hear me say this in all types of photography. If your photo doesn't look good, get closer to your subject. And closer, despite the bad light, I think this image works. It's taken at f11, 0.6 seconds, and ISO 200 on my Canon 15 to 35mm lens.
Oh, that was so good to, you know, get out and get some photos in early in the morning. It's something I'm trying to do to be more productive as a travel photographer at home, is just go out and shoot photos every single day. Sunrise is at 6:30. I'm starting work at the cafe studio at like 8:30-ish usually, so it makes a pretty good day to get up at 6 or 5 like I did this morning, go take some pictures, have some breakfast, and then, you know, get to work at the cafe. Today though is kind of my off day from serving coffee and stuff like that, so let's go grab some breakfast. I've got somebody I want to introduce you to.
In the morning I wake, another beautiful day. I finally figured the recipe. A bit of giving and taking. Life, it is what you make it. Nothing petty can get to me. A little bit of slow, a little bit of go.
Morning, buddy.
A little bit of high, a little bit of low.
Monkey, come say good morning. Come say good morning. Come say good morning. Good morning, Monkey. Who are those guys? They're funny looking, aren't they? Oh, that's okay, so are we.
Live for the moment. Ooh, live for the time. Ooh, live for the moment.
Okay, so excuse the mess a little bit, but it's been a madhouse in here. This is Jody's office, and I want to introduce you to two new people, two new friends. This is Roxy and Rosie. Hey, Rosie. And that's Roxy back there. They're the guinea pigs. They're hilarious. They just run around popcorning and making funny noises. Monkey gets a little bit jealous when I'm up here talking to them sometimes, so Monkey's currently poking at my feet. But Monkey doesn't get nearly as jealous as when we talk about the fourth member of the family. So I'm going to introduce you guys to the fourth member of the family. But first, let me actually show you outside. I've done a lot out here, and it is a mess because Monkey's house is here now. Monkey free roams. Monkey's got the whole house except for our room. And yeah, we've got some work to do out here. But I've also been building a garden. So I built this entire garden right on our balcony here. I'm actually really loving gardening right now. So we've got carrots. Basically, it's all for Monkey and the guinea pigs. But we've got parsley, radish, lots of carrots, more parsley, more carrots, more radish, coriander, cilantro as it's supposed to be called. Basically all for Monkey, who's digging in my socks. What are you doing? Those are my socks, bud. So yeah, it's a bit of a madhouse here, and as I'm about to explain to you and show you, it's even more of a madhouse than you think.
When I started this channel, the goal was to prove that an average dude could travel the world taking pictures and live his dream. The goal of this channel now is to prove that you can be a travel photographer without being a nomad, while having a quote-unquote normal life and a strange furry family.
Monkey, ready for your breakfast? Here you go, buddy. Breakfast time. Monkey, breakfast time. Come on, Monkey, breakfast time. Breakfast time. Oh, are you excited for breakfast? Breakfast time. Breakfast time. Here it is. Whoa, attack that food. Okay, so this is our new friend. Come here, buddy. You're gonna go flying. Whoa! This is our new friend, Tokki. Come here, Tokki. Look at Tokki. And Tokki's a boy. Tokki. Tokki means rabbit in Korean, and he is so cute. I'm gonna turn the camera around so he doesn't escape and talk to you this way. Hey, Tokki. Jody thought that Monkey needed a friend because rabbits are so social and we're away a couple hours a day. So we decided to get a friend. And Tokki is that friend. Aren't you, Tokki? And Tokki is super playful, super like social, but he's not neutered yet and he can't be for another couple weeks. And he can't be introduced to Monkey until he's neutered, even though she's already spayed, or else they might not become friends. So, right now, Tokki's living in our bedroom, currently eating this microphone, and we're just getting them used to each other's scent, and then Tokki will get neutered in a couple weeks here, and they can be introduced. And hopefully they bond and become friends, because Tokki is like insanely cute. Aren't you? Aren't you, buddy? You look like a wizard mixed with a gremlin, don't you? Like a wizard gremlin. And yeah, I gotta go to the studio. Tokki actually comes with me to the studio and he becomes like a barista bunny upstairs.
I got this one choice in my pocket and I'm reaching for that place. Gonna pull out all my might and shine away. I got this one choice in my pocket and I'm reaching for that place. Gonna pull with all my might and shine away.
Time to go to work, barista bunny. There you go, bud. You can live there now. Okay, barista bunny. You ready to go in your house?
Okay, coffee time. Then we'll talk about travel photography. I should also clear something up. Tokki the bunny, believe it or not, isn't making this coffee.
Okay, so I'm in my studio. I'm literally editing the video I filmed this morning. I want to talk about being a travel photographer in 2021 because it's weird. But in a weird way, my life as a travel photographer in 2021 is actually probably like most travel photographers actually are. 2021 Brendan is the reality of life as a travel photographer, not 2019 Brendan, who was traveling all the time, but the one that's situated. I think the biggest misconception with travel photography is that you need to travel somewhere to take the photo. It's not. It's that you create a photo that makes people want to travel to where you are. The vast majority of professional travel photographers live somewhere. They photograph close to home. I think that misconception comes from the fact that there's so many influencers out in the world, like Instagrammers and YouTubers, that travel to take their photos. But most influencers and YouTubers aren't earning their money from selling their photos. They're earning their money from selling themselves or their brand or their marketing potential. So in a kind of a funny way, my life here in Portugal and travel photography for me in 2021 is probably closer to reality than it was back in 2019. Most travel photographers, they have a life, they have a family, they might not have 16 legs living at their house in the form of guinea pigs and rabbits, but they have kids, they have friends, they have a local pub. They go out and make the best of their time in the morning. They maybe even have a part-time or full-time job at a coffee shop or a garage or something else. They're not 100% of the time shooting photos. On a negative aspect, you might think to yourself that there's only 100, 200 professional travel photographers in the world, and 2021 was so bad for travel photographers, it might seem like this is the absolute worst time in the world to be a travel photographer. But I actually think
and maybe I'm just being super optimistic, I think 2021 and 2022 might be the best times in the world to be a travel photographer. The reason is, when was the last time travel was on the front cover of newspapers? 2018 and 2019, it was all Brexit and Donald Trump. In 2021, everybody's talking about travel. When will I be able to travel again? Where will I be able to travel to? These are big newspaper stories, and they're gonna need travel photos to fill them. And on top of that, every single airline, tour company, tourism board, destination, they're gonna start fighting for those people that can start traveling. They're all desperate to start making money, and they need to market, and they need photos to market. So I think 2021, at least quarters 3 and 4, and 2022 are going to be massive in the travel photography industry. So I think that everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy saying this. When a forest is kind of grown too long, it becomes a little bit uniform, and some of the dominant vegetation takes over, and you have kind of a boring singular forest that doesn't have a whole lot of diversity. I think that's what the travel industry was just before this pandemic. This pandemic has worked like a forest fire. And when a forest fire happens, yes, it causes all sorts of destruction. It kills off so much old growth forest. Yes, some strong things survive, and hopefully I'm one of those strong things. But it also creates a landscape in which a bunch of new stuff can start to grow. A bunch of different types of vegetation can grow. And it creates the opportunity for new life. So the pandemic sucked. It still sucks. It's never gonna not suck. But I think in a weird way, it's gonna level the playing field for those who have wanted to start into this career. It's gonna bring out a lot of new innovations and a bunch of new fresh ideas. And I'm actually quite excited to see where the world goes and where the world of travel photography goes in 2021, 2022 and beyond. And I just hope that I can be a part of that from both here and in Portugal and out in the world exploring. So that's all I got to say about that on today's episode. I'll be back with a new episode really soon. I'll see you there. Peace.